Good morning, Facebook. This is my daily little showing up video. I do it in various places. I do it on my personal page. I do it on my business page. I'll do it in YouTube, but it all ends up in YouTube because I want repository. Anyway, I want a place where it can all live and be concise. Good morning. Hey, so these are my thoughts today. It is Tuesday, November 5th, and this came to me in my book. I talk about two parts of us. I talk about the emotional brain that we were born with. I talk about the logical brain that doesn't fully develop till mid-20s. And that's kind of been where my focus has been. You know, fear was how we were created, by how we were developed. Let me rephrase this because this has something to do with what my new little epiphany thing came to me this week. And that is, actually there's three parts of us that will help us to distinguish who's in the driver's seat, right? Without investigation, 100% our emotional brain is in the driver's seat. It has been since we were little. If you even notice, even conversations as adults, there's not a whole lot of difference from an emotional standpoint from a 3-year-old to the 30-year-old to the 60-year-old, because what happens is that emotional fear-based brain that we came packaged with, that we had no way of processing any differently. It was perfect for what we had. That's all we had access to, was our emotional fear-based brain that made all these decisions about ourselves primarily, and then in fight or flight mode, how we were going to interact with situations that came up in our life as we grew up. And because we have our reticular activating system, mental bloodhounds is what I call them, we cemented the truth of what we believed about ourselves that was inaccurate, but emotionally based when we were 3. And we're still having those kinds of emotional reactions when we're 30 and 60. In fact, really, we just have a lot more evidence that we're right as we get older, because this part of your brain, the logical, analytical brain, doesn't fully develop till mid-20s. So you had no way of actually questioning anything emotionally, any emotional impetus or any emotional fear. You didn't have a way to question it. That's why my book's called The Monster Under the Bed. If I had an analytical brain that I do now, I would never have had a monster under my bed, because that would have made no sense. But because how many things in our life make no sense to our logical brain. However, your logical brain is and has been at the mercy of the emotional brain of fear, and really its job, without investigation, the firing and wiring has been to fear. Your emotional brain is still in the driver's seat, and now it's actually hijacking, in many cases, your logical brain to have your logical analytical. So it's so true. I know, because I get it. No, you don't. You're going to defend, you're going to rationalize, and you're going to justify the decisions that are so a part of you about who you are and about what is happening in your world. All those trappings. The truth came with tons of trappings and assumptions and falses. The truth is wrapped in falsehoods all the time. The truth is wrapped in lies regularly. That's what snags us. So your analytical brain is that. So here's my epiphany that I want to share with you today. It's the third part of you. And it is actually here. It actually, from I don't mean physical standpoint, but we're all connected to all of it anyway. Everything's connected. That's why when you get stressed, where does stress live? Everywhere. Where does it start? A thought creates high blood pressure. A thought can create depression. A thought can create anxiety, right? It's all connected. But where I want to talk about is the only truth there actually is ever, ever, ever. And I'm not an all or nothing person in any other thing except here. This is the truth, capital T, truth, is the force, the energy, the essence called, and I don't hate the word, it doesn't do it. It's not a sufficient word, but it doesn't live in a word place. and it's called love. The characteristics of this pure, unconditional, nothing required, nothing ever needed, ever was needed, never, ever, ever needed anything but this essence, this energy, this feeling. It's just not even a feeling. See, I'm not doing justice with the words, but it's who we are. It's our true self. And our true self, the spirit, the soul, the life force that we were created from and by. Call it God, call it, I don't really care. And to be honest with you, this force does not even care what you call it, because the point of it is doesn't live in language. The point of it is lives in alignment. When you align, see, so I think of this force, okay? God, the universe, the light, the creation, the creator of all, of everything that is ever, 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 anything. We're all connected through it and by it. It's like the ocean to me. That's how I picture it. The ocean is huge and vast. And I'm a teaspoon, a tablespoon, I might be, a drop, but it's still who I am. It's still at that core. That's who I am. I was created by it and from it, and it is my inheritance. It's my birthright, not from something I had to do to earn it, not from something I had to do external at all. It doesn't live external. I'm internally this connected and part of and the same as my source. So if that doesn't align with your beliefs, then you might not like anything else I say. But that's what I believe everything is that is true. That is the only truth. The only truth is this word that we use love for. I had a friend in Mexico who told me once, and Lucia, if you're watching, this question made a huge impact on me. She goes, do you only have one word in English that means love? I'm like, yeah, sucks. Because even though this essence doesn't live in a language, there's no actual word that can encompass it. We do only have, I love, ice cream. I love George Clooney. I love Joe Fisk. I love my kids. I love my dog. Like, I don't have a dog, but I love so many different things. And that word is the word we're stuck with in English anyway. But either way, you're going to get stuck because it doesn't encompass it. So the only truth there is in the world, in the universe, in anything, the only reality is love. And when we get wonky, and how actually you're aligned, when you've aligned, and it's not a one and done, it's a constant realigning. But when you are, is by, it's okay. I could use the word happiness. Again, that word doesn't encompass what I'm talking about. It's complete. It's like, I'm home. Yeah. Even if I had to do something hard a few weeks ago. That was a hard thing to do. In fact, I had a lot of chatter about, no, I don't want to do that. I had to have a hard conversation with someone and I didn't want to do it. No. But the deeper part of me said, Kim, align. Sometimes it means you're going to do a hard thing. But at the end of that experience, and maybe I made somebody mad. Maybe how they dealt with it was up to them. It's none of my business. I'm going to just keep aligning and noticing the times that I'm not aligned. Because how when you're not aligned is I call it wonky, but again, that doesn't fit the description either. You get negative emotions, anger, fear, hurt, depression, anxiety, stress, bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness. It's my monster tracks, basically. Perfectionism, comparison, all of those spark a negative emotion. And without investigation, we're going to defend why we should be mad, why those Democrats and those Republicans are wrong. Rah! But they are, Kim. But that's not the word. We're not even in the playground I want to play in when we're talking in that way. Why? Because I have no way of staying in an aligned emotional place. I have no way of staying. when I start using this as my intention in life, in every situation, and I start noticing situations that pull me away from this alignment, even if it's on one level, my old wiring would be justified by doing so. And I will be. I'm snagged regularly about it. But guess what? I don't judge that I get snagged anymore. I used to judge. Kim, why do you go there? Why do you post that on Facebook? Why do you react that way to someone? Why do you have those defensive reactions to this situation and these people that are so bad and evil? Why do you do that? You know better. Well, what did I just do? I just embedded more negative emotion about my negative emotion. See the irony? See how there's no way? You can't get there from here. Because your why you even have contention inside you is because that deeper you, the true you, is calling. Hello, love. Can you not meet anger with anger? Can you not meet hurt with hurt? Because then you're actually just perpetuating that problem. In that person you're dealing with, in the people that are watching and you're modeling in your world, those people are watching, and not from judgment. It's affecting your world. And when you move to this place of, okay, I get it. I see that my reactions to people, my negative energy that I feel in whatever way, I listen to the chatter about how I should and justified so to feel that way. But does it serve me to feel that way? Does it serve them to feel that way? No. Because you're acting out of an illusion called fear. And fear, the only power fear has, because there's no power in anything except love. And when love sounds so hippy dippy, airy fairy, like there's no, oh, love, yeah. And it's an external happening, like it's going to happen when like this God sense to some people is God is over there somewhere and I need to do something to be worthy of God. That isn't a true principle to me. The true principle to me is it's here. I was created from God. I have God already. God is my love and essence. And the reason some of you who are waking up to this God essence that's in you and feeling a disconnect from that is because you have it to begin with and you're recognizing it. So the conflicts, if you choose to, Mr. Phelps, if you choose to see it this way, conflicts and what my work is doing inside me and with people who want to align with this is using the snags, the triggers, what I call monster tracks, using these non-aligned emotions, these negative emotions, not as a reason to do one of two things. Either embed them deeper with your logical brain, defend them, justify them, rationalize them. That's one thing you can do. But the other thing that's probably even more damaging to the people awakening and noticing and starting to follow the impulses of their true self, calling them quietly to, hey, come here. You're already it. You didn't need to do anything. You're already there. You're already loved. You're already perfect. You're already worthy. Nothing more you needed to do, okay? That's a still small voice in you. But the people who use the negative times where they do react and they are unaligned, they use it to judge themselves because the judgment just keeps perpetuating the thing you didn't want. So the thing you're upset about is not really ever the thing you're upset about. The deeper part of you is saying without any judgment is, move to observer. The deeper part of you is actually the observer without judgment that notices and is calling you. And honestly, the more you align, the more you notice when you're not aligned, and it can lead to judgment. Easily it can. I know firsthand. So that's where the rewiring and realigning, aligning and refining, aligning and refining and realigning and refining and realigning and refining. That's what we're here to do. And the people in your life that are pushing those buttons, the people in your life that are making you mad and making you angry and making you like this, they're gifts. Donald Trump is a gift. Hillary Clinton is a gift. I'm just using these political, huge, big triggers in the world right now, or Joe Biden, or whoever, Putin, or it doesn't matter. It changes, and it's perpetuating. Do you notice the what's the word? Momentum picking up in fear? It's fear. And fear is the number one identifier that you're not aligned. But Kim, what do you want me to do? Just sit back and let anything happen and meditate and sit on my hillside and cross my legs and om? That's what chatter will tell you. Chatter's going to say, you need to stand up. You need to You need to show them and prove, and maybe you do. And if you do, you do. And that's okay. You're still at your essence. You're still pure love, and you're still the most powerful principle and force in the universe. Created everything you see and created you from a spiritual standpoint. It didn't evolve you. We evolved from our fear brain. So now the conflict resides in this, who I really am and who I was wired inaccurately through fear. And that is your job, Mr. Phelps, if you choose to accept it. Your mission is to notice the faulty wiring, notice for your negative emotion, notice through your reactions, notice how those make you feel, notice the damage you leave in your wake, but don't judge, and use it as an indicator light, like on your car, to go, oh, I must still not be aligned with my true self. Anyway, those who have ears to hear, it's a big conversation. Good morning, everyone that joined live, and thank you for joining, and I will be back another day. Follow me on YouTube if you don't. This is going to actually live on YouTube, and like I said, what I'm going to do, I just kind of want to build a YouTube following as well. So Facebook's not reliable to me. YouTube isn't either. In fact, what's the only truth? The only truth is I'm just going to show up in the conversation and live right in this moment. That makes me feel complete and whole. Bye.